You are listening to The Mismatch, presented by FanDuel. America's #1 sportsbook has made it easier than ever to get in on the action during an NBA playoff game, even after tip-off. Just look for the live SGP tab on the FanDuel Sportsbook app and build your bet slip. Then sit back, relax, and track the outcome of your parlay right in the app. And if you don't already have it, download the FanDuel app today to make every moment more. The Ringer is committed to responsible gambling. Please visit rg-help.com to learn more about the resources and helplines available, and listen to the end of the episode for additional details. You must be 21 and present in select states. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
Welcome to The Mismatch. I'm Chris Vernon, and joining me today every week from TheRinger.com is Dave Jacoby. Jacoby!
Did the Knicks win tonight? They did
win tonight. We are recording this late Thursday night. We have just gotten done watching the Clippers versus the Nuggets, and though we are not going to get a Game 7 in the Knicks-Pistons series, which we will get to after we talk about this one, we are getting a Game 7 in this first round series, which is been a absolutely tremendous series between the Nuggets and the Clippers. And so we're getting a Game 7 coming up this weekend, and the winner will then have to face a very well-rested Oklahoma City team who has been getting to sit around.
They're still in the playoffs?
A week, yeah. But these two teams who are battling it out amongst each other. 111-105 was the final score. And I got to be honest with you, Jacoby. I was with Stan Van Gundy down the stretch of that game. I'm like, what are they doing? Like,
I know.
Do you, like, I almost wanted Ty Lue to take a timeout and be like, you guys know Kawhi Leonard's on the team? Like, how is he never touching the ball? It felt like you had this monster shot by Norm Powell in the corner that saved their ass. Like, I really felt like if the, swing, Batum throws it over to the corner, that if Powell doesn't hit their three, they are in a world of crap because they were up by 15 or whatever it was. And then it felt like the team that goes into the prevent defense or runs the ball into the line or whatever you want to say, they're playing late into the shot clock. It's like Harden just chucking the ball up at the rim, or they're having a turnover, whatever. And it took some monster defensive plays on the other end. Batum gets his flowers for as good as he was tonight. Zubac played as good a defense as you could possibly play on Jokic for the course of the game. And then obviously on the offensive end, Norm Powell hit some really big shots for him. But I don't know. I think if you would have stopped that maybe in the beginning of the fourth or like the middle of the fourth, after Powell had been doing his thing and the place is rocking and they're showing Steve Ballmer in the crowd, I felt so much better about the Clippers and their opportunity to win the series than I did at the end of the game. At the end of the game, I thought, oh boy, this is my old one team has been in every different situation. They've seen every different kind of defense. They're going to keep playing. And the other team felt like a team, the Clippers, and I know they came away with the win. They felt like the team that didn't know what their go-to was when it was really need a bucket time.
One of my biggest takeaways from this game was the score didn't match the vibe. Like, watching the first half in particular, James Harden's going off, hitting threes, step backs, Kawhi's getting his buckets, Batum is blocking Jokic. Like, it just felt like the Clippers were hitting on all cylinders. But you look at the score, they ended up the end of the half by one. Yeah, and I was just like, it just didn't match. Like, if you put a piece of black tape over my television where the score was, I'd be like, oh, the Clippers are up 15. They felt like the Clippers were doing everything right. but the Nuggets just stayed step for step with them. And there's a lot of Jokic. They just don't have an answer for him, really. I mean, Zubac is good, but like they tried Kawhi on him. They tried Batum on him. And like, it just didn't work.
But this is as good as you could possibly do. Look, this sounds insane, but you'd sign up for 25, 8 and 7 every night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it doesn't sound insane at all.
There might be nobody in the world
at all.
I know, but it's only insane when you put it in the context in the history of the NBA. That's a ludicrous thing to say, but for sure you'd take 25 on 22 shots too, because you made him take the shots in order to get. So, I mean, they did a good job on Jokic, and I guess that's why I kind of feel the way I do, and I'm interested if you feel the same. I mean, they just had the 46 points from Jokic and Murray. I thought they did a tremendous job, defending this team, holding that team to 105. Really good. Especially after they got lit up so bad in the last game. And they made some adjustments. A lot of Batum this game. And they things around. And yet I'm left at the end of that game, and I'm like, man, I don't know if they could go in there and win a game 7 on the road.
I think game 5 Murray was so crucial for the Nuggets, and I felt like the Clippers saw that and they made adjustments.
Sure,
but game 7, like we knew this series was going to be close, and we're getting what we deserve. This deserves to be a game 7. And to be fair, the Nuggets deserve to have it in their home arena.
Yep.
And I think that game 5 was such an emphatic win by the Nuggets, and it felt like this was an emphatic win by the Clippers, but it was still close with like 2 minutes left.
Oh, really close, and they were really playing with their food down the stretch. If it weren't for a couple of you had a couple blown layups at the end of the game that would have made that even closer. On the Westbrook front, Jokic even smoked one, or I guess Zubac probably got a hand on it. But there was a few plays away from that getting super dicey for the Clippers, who really did feel like they were just trying to run out the clock. It's just the last 5 minutes of that game. It was so incredibly disappointing that
it was immature. They were immature.
If we get down to a game 7 and it's an execute off, I don't like their chances, because that was gross.
It was immature. And I'm excited we get a game 7 from this series.
Yes.
But you also said it, like the Thunder are just sitting there.
They are
sitting there.
But both of these teams are just so veteran laden. They are so veteran laden. And like, you watch that Nuggets team, and it's all the hallmarks of a team who's been through. It has just been through everything. They've seen it all. They've been in every different situation. They've been up big. They've been down big. They've seen this kind of defense. They've seen when you throw this at Murray. They've seen when they throw this at Jokic. And they've got their go-tos. Like, okay, here's what we're doing when this happens. Here's what we're doing when this happens. And again, they lost a game 7 on their home floor when they were up big. And it was one of those things where when I guess there wasn't that much time left, and Powell had hit a 3 to put them up by 14. This is before the late run by the Nuggets to make it very interesting. But I thought to myself at that moment, I was like, I wonder if he's going to yank them, because it's a 14-point game. There's still time left, and you could possibly mount a comeback. And the only reason I say that is because these games come so fast. And last year, they got to that game 7. It was this war. They're up big, and there has to be a portion where you think, and then the Wolves were able to muster up that energy for when it mattered most and mount that comeback, and it looked like, the Nuggets were running in mud, and they're only playing 6 guys, really, Jacoby. They're only playing 6, and so now you're going to turn around, and you got to muster it up again for a game 7.
And they're working on MPJ's shoulder every time he's out of the game.
Yes.
He's not 100%, but Jokic is just like, He's unstoppable.
They just feel more
unstoppable.
trustworthy, don't they? They feel more trustworthy in a Game 7
The
on their
Nuggets
home
or the
field.
Clippers?
Yeah, the Nuggets do.
I mean, to put me in a position to speak into a microphone how I feel that game is going to go, I just can't call it. I have no idea. I mean, they'll be at home, and it's going to be it's going to be a short turnaround.
I would be very surprised if the Nuggets lose 2 years in a row in a Game 7 on their home floor. That would shock me.
It wouldn't shock me. I think it's the James Harden variance. That's really the X factor. It's the James Harden's second quarter was out of control. Like he dominated the second quarter.
You just don't need it to be close. You better run off on them. You better be up big. Because, I mean, that was a mess at the end of that game. My God.
It was weird. He was going between his legs for like 30 seconds. It was like, what are you doing, dude? It was just like dribbling between his legs for like 15 seconds.
I'm like, throw the ball to Kawhi Leonard. What are you people doing?
Yeah.
You know he's on your team, right? Just throw it to him. Like this.
Can we talk about the Knicks? Can we talk about the Knicks, Chris Vernon?
Well, I laughed so hard when I saw somebody tweet out that they had like posted like this picture of a whiteboard, and they said Tibbs called the timeout and wrote on the whiteboard, "Jalen, save us," and just sent it back out there. That game, again, one of these times where how many times did we were so high on the Pistons all year. They were one of our favorite teams to watch, and they just played thriller after thriller after thriller throughout this year. And this deciding game in this Game 6 had so many of the hallmarks that if you did pay attention throughout the season, on one end, you have the Pistons playing this thriller, and now can they get it done? Can they get past the finish line? And on the other side, you have, oh my gosh, are we in a close game? Jalen Brunson, go make it happen. And both of those things collided at the same time, which is Pistons couldn't get all the way to the finish line, and Jalen Brunson did them in.
It's infuriating as a Knicks fan that they rely on Jalen so much to do everything. But in games like this, you're like, oh, that's why they rely on Jalen to do everything. And I think that one thing I want to say is after last year's playoffs, I left the Sixers series and I hated Joel Embiid. I thought it was dirty. I thought he intentionally tried to hurt Mitch Robinson. I just hated it. Dirty play after dirty play. I hated Halliburton. I thought he was a front runner. I hated those teams that we beat and lost to. And I don't mean to say we.
I understand.
But I love this Pistons team. I love this team. Before I'm a Knicks fan, I'm a basketball fan. I love this Pistons team. And I wish this went 7. I'm happy the Knicks won, but I just absolutely love this team. And Asir Thompson is just so good. And Cade missed a couple huge shots in this series. Like, don't sleep on the fact that he had a 15-footer from the elbow from his spot in the previous game, missed it. And he had a layup on the left side to basically ice the game and missed it. And these games come down to, like, we're always going to talk about the Brunson 3, but there was a play in this game that was so crucial. It was Karl Anthony Towns is on the line, and he makes the first one, and he misses the second one, and it bounces off to the left side.
Right.
And there's 3 Pistons around the ball. Yep. And whatever happens, like, their feet get tied up. I think it's Tobias Harris catches the ball, but he gets tied up and he kind of like trips.
And then the ball hits off his face.
Yeah, it was just like, it was a weird play. It was just terrible. Like, we're going to talk about the Jalen Brunson 3, which is amazing, but it's like that play changed everything.
Well, look, everything. All right, here. This is the end of the game. I wrote this down. With 2:35 left, the score is 112-105. All right. Tim Hardaway.
You're cooked. You're cooked at that point.
It's a 7-point game with 2:35 left. Hardaway hits a baseline pull-up, which I honestly thought was a bad shot, but he made it. And so they went up 112-105. What followed was a Brunson floater where he gets fouled and he makes a free throw. So there's an and one. Then you had a Brunson layup. Then you had a Towns free throw and then a missed free throw. Then you
But they get the ball back.
Right. Then you had the Bridges tip in.
Yep.
And then you had the Brunson 3. That's the scoring that took place from 112 to 105. The only singular point that was scored by the Pistons was a Jalen Duren free throw. In the last 2:35 of the game, it was all Knicks. All Knicks. There was one free throw. I mean, they're down 7.
I thought the game was over. I thought the Knicks lost.
7.
I'm sitting there being like, the Knicks lost the game.
With 2:35 left, and, I thought Tibbs, I watched his post-game press conference, and he was talking about Jalen Brunson, and he said, it was a great quote about a player. He was talking about Brunson. He was talking about the enormity of that shot, and his quote was, he is at his best when his best is needed.
I like it.
It's a good quote.
I like it.
It's a good quote. All right, and what's so crazy is the Pistons, look, you mentioned loving them. We've loved them.
I love them so much.
We've loved them throughout the year.
So much.
And I always talk about playoff scars, and you talk about Cade missing those shots. This is part of what going through it for the first time. But the way they handled themselves within the context of this series was truly remarkable. This is a team that made a 30-game improvement, Jacoby. A 30-game improvement. They went from 14 wins to 44 wins. They just played a 6-game series against an extremely good Knicks team that is laden with veterans that all play 40-something minutes a game. So you get no relief from that. And none of the games from 3 through 6 were decided by more than 3 points. That's incredible. I mean, that is an incredible effort. It sucks that they came up short, and obviously they're not going to be, they're going to lament. They're going to think, well, if we would have done this, we would have done that. If this would have gone this way, and this would have gone this way. If the foul would have been called on Tim Hardaway in the corner. Like, you could do a million what ifs. The truth of the matter is, for a first time in playoff environment, for them to not have any of the games decided by more than 3 points when a team is scheming you up and you were able to scheme them up as well, I mean, it's pretty crazy. You're just that level of competition is something to be lauded.
I would say that this is a fluky Knicks win. Like, not just this game. Like, this series is a fluky series. Either way it goes. And I think it's also important to mention, and I've said it before in this pod, Jaden Ivey is their second best player.
Yeah, the future is so bright.
And Beef Stew, not available. Like, listen, injuries are part of playoff basketball, and they change series. But, like, if I'm a Pistons fan, I walk away from this saying, you know what? Great year, great season. I can't wait for next October. That's how I feel as a Pistons fan.
And you got, because I mean, look, you're getting to come back with Cade, with Thompson, with Ivy, with Duren. I mean, that is a great young core. Holland got thrown in the fire this year. He obviously was not going to be able to be trustworthy in a game of this type of stakes, but fiery competitor that they might have, maybe another guy that can be there long term. And yeah, I mean, I think they have a tremendous amount to look forward to. And in this weird way, a team that gets bounced in the first round, that is by far the most fun anybody as a Pistons fan has had in so many years. It sucks they didn't get a home win in the playoffs.
You got to feel good about it, though. I will feel good about it. If you're a Detroit Pistons fan, you feel good about this season.
I will tell you that, and I think that you would agree with me on this. That is to come. And you look at those young players who we have this tremendous belief in, how much they grew this year, and also Cade becoming a guy that now looks like the guy who could be the best player on an absolutely awesome team. And that has been a revelation.
His ceiling is so high. And I think that we celebrate his offense so much, but like his defense was really impressive in this series.
Yes.
The Pistons locked up, dude. They locked up. Like, Karl-Anthony Towns, I don't know what happened to Tobias Harris. I don't know what Tobias Harris this is, because, we've all followed his career and multiple stops. Detroit, Los Angeles, Philly, Detroit again. Like, I've seen Tobias Harris play basketball for years and years and years. I know how he got that max contract because what he did with the Clippers. I get it. But that Tobias Harris, I've never seen him as a defensive stopper before.
Right. No, and look, you got to give Bickerstaff a ton of credit. Those players obviously love him. He got them to play together, and they had such good vibes all year long. I almost am sad that I don't get to watch them play anymore, this season, because they were a fun team. They were a fun team to watch for sure this year. I will say on the JB front, I understand. I think what he would probably say is he didn't want them to be able to hack him and send him to the free throw line. But the decision to pull Asar out of the game, right under that 4-minute mark. I mean, the last shot of the game, notwithstanding, the job he did on Brunson was unbelievable. And the job he does on everyone was unbelievable. I think that's probably what he foresaw. And then obviously when you get under 2 minutes, that's not relevant anymore. But he thought, I would imagine he thought, the reason we pulled him out of the game was because they're just going to start intentionally fouling him. The same way that Steve Kerr was able to get Steven Adams out of that significant game a few games ago. I wonder if that was the case, because that was it's easy in retrospect, but that really gave them life, because Schroeder was never going to have a chance. He's never going to have a chance on Jalen Brunson. Their best chance to slow him down. And that the last 3.5 minutes, bro, it's Brunson or bust. You know as well as I do. You had the one Bridges tip in, and Towns was, he had a good rebounding night, but offensively, offensively, come on.
And I think if we're moving forward with this Knicks team, and as a easy Knicks fan, I have to say this: this offense needs to be more ball movement, more off-ball movement, less just Jalen Brunson take the ball and take us home. Towns needs to touch the ball more. When Brunson was hurt, OG Anunoby was averaging 25 points a game, and Mikal Bridges was getting a ton of shots. And where are these guys now? And looking forward to the Celtics series, it's tough, man. It's tough.
I could not believe this. Did you see? And again, you could check me on this if I'm wrong. Somebody posted that thing opened minus 800. I was like, there's no way.
What? No.
Yes.
No.
I saw that posted.
No.
I saw it posted.
With Drew Holiday hurt, with Tatum being hurt, and Brown recently being hurt.
I'm going to go check FanDuel right now while we're on the air. I promise somebody posted that, and I was like, "There's no way, right?"
No.
Hold on.
No, that is not. No.
I couldn't believe. Look, Cleveland's 550, bro. FanDuel has it minus 1,000.
What?
Boston
for the series
minus 1,000.
Are you serious?
I'm looking at it, Jacoby.
I would never look. I'm not going to sit here and speak into a microphone and say the Knicks are going to win the series, but I'll say there is a roadmap, and the roadmap is the Celtics miss threes and their big players miss games. There's an easy roadmap here.
Well, you can get your Knicks at plus 660.
No. So if I bet $100,
you would win $660.
I get $760 back.
Yes.
No.
I
doesn't do that right now.
Look. I thought 800 was extreme. 1,000 by the time. So it's gone up since I saw that posted. That's wild.
I think
that is wild.
If you pay close attention to the Magic Celtics series, the Magic, they lost every game pretty handily, but they were in it in the first half of every single game. Every game.
The favorite is... the expectation is that this is a wipeout. It's 5 games. It's plus 198. That's the lowest.
Plus 198 for
that's
5 games?
For 5 games. So
there's no chance. There's no chance the Celtics win 3 and 4 in the Garden. There's just no chance. No chance.
I'm just telling you. Oh, so here's what I'm saying. Look, I'll get with you on this. All right, listen to me. if we think that we're getting at least 6 games in that series. Now that Vegas is telling us, bro, you're betting on something that's not going to happen. But if we're going to get 6, that at that point with these odds being so long, you're now in peril of anything. If Porzingis goes out, if Holiday's hamstring's bad, if you already think that it's going to be competitive, then I mean, to me, it's worth a crack just because somebody could go down. Somebody could go down. I mean, look, and we've seen the Knicks. The Knicks' whole season and playoff success race before their eyes when Brunson went down with the ankle. Like, it's over. If he gets hurt, it's over.
Oh, done.
And
yeah.
Right. And so
Deuce McBride has not played well this series.
You've had Tatum have to miss some time. You've had Brown have to miss some time. Porzingis missed some time. Holiday's had to miss some time.
Holiday's out.
I am just surprised that it is this strong of a favorite. They are minus 1,000. You got to put $1,000 down to win 100 if you want to bet on the Celtics to win the series.
That's insane. I mean, I would never pick the Knicks to win this series, but
it's crazy.
Can you not see a world in which Jalen Brunson takes over game 2 and they win game 2 and they get game 4 in the Garden and it's 2-2 going into game 5? Like who knows?
What's wild is the same is true. I mean, it's not as heavy, but the Cavs are minus 550 against the Pacers. I mean, don't we think that one's going to be competitive too? Like, if these series don't go to 6 games, I'll be surprised.
So here's what I always have to remind myself. This isn't basketball experts picking the series and making the numbers. This is how to make the numbers even for the public bettors. And I think public bettors will say, oh, Celtics obviously going to wipe out the Knicks. And public bettors will say, oh, the Cavs, best team in the East, Pacers, whatever.
I will just say, if these Vegas odds are accurate in determining that it's going to be 2 wipeouts, that'll be mega disappointing because this first round has been amazing. I don't want the second round to not be good. Theoretically, 4 good teams move on, and then we are getting even a heightened level of competition. This first round has been awesome. As someone who is sitting in and watching games every night, it is much more. It is much less common for the games to be crappy.
Well, even
when we get a crappy one, I'm like, that's crap.
Even your stupid Grizzlies competed in game 3 and game 4. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think, and you would say you could
really
easily say
the Heat in game 3, game 4.
The Heat were the ones that kind of ruined it for us, but the Magic were competitive in that series.
Generally,
Knicks Pistons felt like Knicks Sixers last year. It was like, this is a great series.
Yep.
Either team could advance, and it could go either way based on a couple shots making or missing. Like that one play when Jalen Duren, there's 0.5 left on the shot clock, and they ran a play for Duren. And the announcer's like, they're going to run a play for Duren. And he had a great look. Like, if he makes that, it's a game 7. And who knows what happens in game 7. FanDuel is letting you get in on the NBA playoff action right from the first tip. Because right now, all customers, not just new customers, all customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every weekend when you bet the NBA playoffs. That's right. Just use your token on 3+ leg same-game parlay or same-game parlay plus on any NBA playoff game, and you'll get bonus bets back if you don't win. One game that I have my eye on is the big game 6 in the Bay between the Rockets and the Warriors. And I have some thoughts. I think that Van Vliet will continue his hot streak of shooting. I think that the Rockets are actually going to upset the Warriors, who kind of like mailed in game 5. And I think this is going to be a 7-game series. I also think that Steph Curry is going to break out and have a good game as well. You put all 3 of those bets together and you get a no sweat same game parlay. And I love betting on FanDuel because they have their great promotions every day, a safe and secure app, and instant payments when you win. There's no better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/mismatch and get a no-sweat same-game parlay every weekend of the NBA playoffs. That is FanDuel.com/mismatch. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Remember, you must be 21 or over and present in select states, or 18 and over and present in DC. Opt-in is required. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after you receive it. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
Well, and in fairness, these odds are not indicative of what is going to happen. If we didn't learn that from Wolves Lakers, then when are we going to learn it? Because it wasn't like if you could have made a pretty penny betting on the Wolves to win in 5 games. I promise you that. And they took care of business last night, as they are now have joined the teams that are moving on to the next round. I was blown away. You and I have not talked about this yet, and we're 2 days, removed. I was blown away at how good you have to be to play that crappy and win. I thought they played like crap and still won, right? I know Gobert went crazy, but that's 7 for 47 from 3. And to that point, I was reading an article this morning, and it said they were the first team all season to win a game shooting 15% or less from 3.
Missing 43s.
And I was like, well, I mean, of course they are. Like, you can't win a game shooting 7 for 47 with the way the NBA is played now. And so, to me, that speaks to how awesome they are and were when you can do that and still win on the road in a game that you don't have to win. That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm high on the Wolves, Jacoby.
I have a lot of thoughts. I love thoughts. Number one, I would like to apologize to Julius Randle, the Randle family.
Oh my God!
Anyone named Randle, anyone named Randy, just all Randles in the world. I just want to say that, I've watched this man play playoff basketball before, and I've never seen him play playoff basketball like this. If Randle got the ball and LeBron James was guarding him, it was a mismatch.
Well,
he attacked it.
And here's what's crazy. He really stepped up. We talked a lot about sometimes it's about who's your second best guy, right? Who's going to be that outlet? When they tried to sell out on the star and make life hard on the star, then the others have to step up. And that, to me, was what was so impressive about what took place with Minnesota. Just follow me here. In game 1, they had 48 combined points from Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid.
Yeah. Okay. I think what were they cumulatively from 3? They were like I don't know. It was like
9 of 12
or something. Yeah.
9 of 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Game 2, Julius Randle scored 27 points in the only loss.
He had 8 assists.
And that was the only loss of the series. And it was the first of 4 straight 20-plus games for Randle, which he had not done since November of this year. So it's not like he consistently is scoring 20 a night. It was the first time he's done it 4 times in a row since November. In game 3, you have the McDaniels playoff career high, and then you have the Ant Edwards game, right, where he's 29, 8, and 8. And then game 4, you have Edwards, who has 43 points, including 16 in the fourth quarter of that game. And then you got to game 5, and Rudy Gobert had 27 and 24. The point is, it was something different every single time, right? Like we just talked about, one night it was McDaniels and Reed, and one night it was Randle, and one night it was Ant, and one night it was Gobert. And it's like, good grief. They had big games from all manner of people in that series.
I think that one thing the first round has exposed in the NBA, which is, again, we're not like breaking new ground here, is its depth. Like, you got Luka and LeBron. Oh, we got Luka and LeBron.
Yep.
Well, who else you got? Because Austin Reeves didn't show up to the party. We got Paolo and Franz. Well, who else you got?
Right.
And I think that what we're seeing in round one is the Nods Reeds, the Jaden McDaniels, the Mikal Bridges, like that fourth option, fifth option, the guys off the bench. Like the Thunder showed it in the series against your Grizzlies. It was just like waves of guys. And I think that as you'll see moving forward, it's not just having the star. Like last year, the Mavs made it to the finals with the star, but it's the other guys, and you need to have a consistent 8-guy rotation.
And there's been a thing going around that has recently been written, and I can't recall who the author is, but I did see somebody harken back to an old Ringer article by my buddy, rest in peace, Jonathan Tjarks, who brought this up a couple of years ago, and it was that as basketball has evolved even more and the way it is played now, this is really insightful. It used to always be who's got the best guy.
You get the best guy in the series, you win the series.
We still focus on it. And now it's who's the worst guy. Because the worst guy is the one they are going to, on both ends, they are going to find you out. They are going to, if you're the worst defender, they are going to find you out. If you can't shoot, you're going to be the one that has to shoot. End of story, right? And so it's become more of a, more like soccer. And they say this happens in soccer, right? Soccer's not as much about who's got the best guy. It's about what's your weak link. Yep. Because basketball has now started to become more of a sport that targets the weak link rather than the best player is the one that makes you rise above everybody else. It's the strength of whatever is. And to your point, and I used to always say this on the Mismatch for years and years, playing guys that don't suck, like there are 8 that you absolutely can count on with Minnesota.
Oh.
And you look around, and because they're bringing Nas and they're bringing Noah.
Dante is like number 8, dog. Dante is like number 8.
Right.
And he is a baller. And he's a two-way player. And it's just one thing. Like, listen, I think it's really easy to like shit on Luka Doncic right now. And I'm not going to do it. But I will say that like it is telling that when Julius Randle sees him in front of him, and when Anthony Edwards sees Luka in front of him, he's like, oh, this is my time to cook. This is the matchup I want. And it's hard for me to say you're one of the best players in the league when other teams are running plays to put you as the on-ball defender so they can isolate. It's just hard for me to say you're one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, and obviously this is just a colossal disappointment on the LA front. And I feel like, look, JJ took over. He was an upgrade over Darvin Ham. He got them to the 3 seed. Jacoby, if my season ended to a 27-24 game by Rudy Gobert, I would jump out the window. Bro. Like I would. I think I'd start hating basketball for the right. Like they turned him into Wilt Chamberlain, and he was great. He was dominant. You've got to give him his flowers. That is absurd. I'm sorry. That is absurd. I said,
Chris, I cannot. I'm excited about this. I want to say this.
I said this to my buddy. Look, if Nikola Jokic goes crazy, you can say, you know what? That's Nikola Jokic,
best player in the world.
If Luka Doncic goes crazy, it's like Jason Tatum, whoever. It's like, man, these guys have seen every kind of defense. They've seen every kind of thing. Dude, going into this game, Rudy Gobert had 14 points and 25 rebounds in the series.
No. That's a real stat? No. He had 14 points in the series?
In the series, Jacoby.
Because we always talk about this is like
27-24.
We just got done with the Nuggets and Clippers game, right? And they're like, you know what? We're fine with Christian Brown shooting threes, and we're fine with Russell Westbrook shooting threes. But it felt like the Lakers were fine with Rudy Gobert dunking the ball. Honestly, it felt like their defensive strategy was like, well, it's not like we all know that the Lakers don't have a center, and I feel like they should have played Jackson Hayes more, but whatever. but we know they don't have a center, but I feel like they were playing with 4 guys. It's like, you're not covering the 7-foot human being under the basket
Look, I know
over and over and over and fucking over.
I know he's way undersized. At least let Vando go, like, knee him in the nuts or something.
Foul
like something.
Because he can't shoot
anything.
Free throws, but he was naked under the basket. But it's one thing for that to happen in like the first and second quarter. And you go into halftime, you'd be like, all right, hey, maybe we shouldn't leave Rudy Gobert wide open under the basket. But it happened in the second half too.
Also, they missed every shot they took. And
he's got the rebound
back. I think they had 18 offensive rebounds. He had 9. It felt like he got the ball every time they missed. Like Dante DiVincenzo for 3. Oh, Rudy Gobert got the ball. And now he's just dunking on nobody or a 6'5" guy. Like, what is happening? What is happening?
I was shocked.
Oh, and then, bro, him putting in Maxi Kleber was the funniest thing ever.
Maxi Kleber didn't even look like Maxi Kleber. Did he dye his beard or something? I was like, I know what Maxi Kleber looks like. Who is this guy? You're gonna make your Laker debut, and then he put him in the second half too.
In a 2-bucket game. No, in a Jacoby. They said he has not practiced with the team.
I swear to God, when JJ Redick is like Maxi. And I swear to God, Maxi was like me? You want me to go in the game?
Dude, it was May 1st. That was when the game was played. And they said he has not played basketball since January. Like, what is happening? What is happening? Like, you know what it felt like? It felt like JJ being mega petulant because in the pregame, when he was already pissy, we saw it.
We saw
how pissy
we saw it.
Okay. He said Jackson Hayes is not in the rotation.
Why not?
But you have to change course of action if Rudy Gobert is about to put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers because you have nobody else tall. I get it. Jackson Hayes sucks. We know. But you can't tell me that Rudy Gobert would have had 27 and 24. Come on.
But
he had 14 points in the whole series before this game.
I was shocked. Maxi Kleber was like
crazy.
He's like, I'm only here to make the contracts work. He's like, I'm not here to play basketball.
Well,
like, I'm here to match contracts in this trade. I am not like an asset to play on the basketball court. What are you doing, JJ?
The other thing is, what is the going small thing? Like you reaped no advantage from going small.
I mean, I might be a fool. And again, I do trust that JJ Redick knows more about his teammate and his roster than I do.
He's done in 5 games.
I was pretty surprised that Jackson Hayes didn't play more in this series.
You have to say that.
I was pretty surprised.
You have to say that because JJ will tell you. He knows more basketball than you.
He does.
Of course he does.
And he's a nice guy. Like, he's like a great guy. He's a great hang. Like, he's a good dude. But I was just like, I'm like, why is Jackson Hayes? And the cameras were on Jackson Hayes on the bench. Like, they were like cut to Jackson Hayes. And he's just sitting there, like, and he's got a smirk on his face.
I think he was just, honestly, I feel like he was doubling down on, like, no, we're past that. Like, we're not. Like, you have to be able to adjust. Like, if this is what's killing us, we've got to do something about it. Like,
we will,
even if I don't love the option.
We'll move on from the Lakers shortly, but like, I don't see the fix here either. Like, let's be honest. Like, what's the fix? Who are you bringing in?
I mean,
what are you doing? What are we doing this offseason that's going to make this a championship contender?
You try to find a big guy and try to get Luka to lose 20 pounds?
Yeah.
I'd do.
But I don't see the big guy.
You find you find a role-playing center, and then you find, like whether it's a Steven Adams, a Clint Capella, whoever.
Everyone's like, oh, Clint Capella. That's the name that always comes up.
I know, but you just find
But Clint Capella from 4 years ago, maybe. But Clint Capella hasn't been Clint Capella for a couple seasons.
How about Mark Williams?
Maybe he'd be a good idea. Redo that physical.
When people, and I liked Mark Williams emoji tweet and everything. I saw Mark Williams in Memphis earlier this year and came on the podcast to talk to you about him. And I said, I just saw the most mortifying thing I've ever seen. This guy has like a 9-foot or 10-foot wingspan, and I just watched Memphis have like 85 points in the paint. It was disgraceful. Like, what is the point? What is the point of you? They would have put him in every single action, and JJ would have never played him again.
Not played him. Yeah, I don't see the fix here. It's bad for the Lakers, and it's honestly like acquiring Luka is a coup, and it's going to go down forever as one of the strangest basketball transactions in the history of the league. And they're going to be set up for 10 years, but they're not set up for next year. And there's not going to be any swan song with LeBron holding up the Larry O'Brien trophy. It ain't happening.
The other thing, is there anything you liked about the way they played offense? Come on. They couldn't score in any of the fourth quarters. They scored 17 points per game in fourth quarters and shot 29%.
I just feel like an idiot.
Now, look, I watched a couple episodes of Mind the Game, but like, come on.
I feel like an idiot, honestly.
17?
I feel like an idiot because I thought I said it in the last pod, when they played defense for that month, I thought they had a good defense. And I actually thought that Austin Reeves was like a guy. And Austin Reeves in this series, he was not a guy. Not a guy at all.
I thought, hey, by the way, before this series started, you can go back and find the tape. I told you, you're going to find out. We're going to find out. I said, because Austin Reeves, because I was listening to everybody do the Austin Reeves thing. Austin Reeves, if he was on another team, he could be 25 points per game and the whole thing. And I said, look, once Luka's acquired, he's living in a different world, right? Because now you don't have three good perimeter defenders, right? Perimeter defender number one is dealing with LeBron. Perimeter defender or Luka, and perimeter defender number two is dealing with Luka. And now Reeves is getting to swim in different waters. Here's the problem: Minnesota's got like five.
What happened to Minnesota last season?
Reeves is a huge problem if you don't have a third legitimate defender.
Oh, Minnesota's got four.
If you do, he's got to live in a different world.
What happened to Minnesota last season was Derek Jones Jr. and PJ Washington hit their shots. And I feel like they did that to the Lakers this season. It's like, oh, you want Naz Reid to shoot threes? Oh, he's going to hit them. Oh, you're going to leave Jaden McDaniels? Oh, he's going to hit him. Oh, and now you're going to leave Rudy Gobert? Oh, he can catch and dunk. Yep. He can't get a putback. He can't do a hook shot. He can't do anything Zubac can do or Jokic can do, but he can catch and dunk if you leave him alone under the basket.
Minnesota is going to be an absolute bitch for whoever comes out of this Golden State Houston thing. I talked to you about this earlier this week after we recorded, and we talked about that series going back to Houston. And you've heard me say over and over and over again how much Houston reminds me of teams that I covered that played against the Golden State Warriors.
Talk to me.
I was texting you during the game the other night, and I said, this is deja vu. Like, I've been there for it. And luckily, it was totally verified, because after the game, if you heard Draymond Green
said it.
He said they might as well have been playing Whoop That Trick. It played out almost identical. It was crazy. Now, they were even more devastating. Putting up 76 points in 24 minutes is crazy. That's crazy.
I have one question for you, Verno. I have one question. Yep. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
What do you mean?
What was that?
Who? Houston?
No, the Warriors.
Oh.
Did they just collectively decide we're not going to compete in this basketball contest?
Okay, so you might have seen me tweet this about how I don't know if I can ever remember this happening on a broadcast. But for anybody that was watching the broadcast, and I can't recall who it was, it might have been the sideline reporter. I think it was. They come back from halftime and they go to like the sideline reporter. And forgive me, I can't remember who it was. And they said to him, so what was whatever, like they talked to Steve Kerr. And they said on the broadcast, Kerr's going to see how these first 5 minutes go.
And
they don't go well, then they're just going to rest up for game 6. I was like, did they just say on the game, hey, you can watch the next 5 minutes. If it doesn't get competitive, like this team is punting?
Well, I'm watching the game. I got a newborn and I've got 3 other kids. And I told my wife at the end of the third quarter, I was like, don't worry, I can help you put the kids to bed tonight because I don't need to see this fourth quarter.
Right.
Honestly, I was like, usually I'm like, I got to watch this for work or whatever. It's my job, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? Don't worry. I'll put Quincy to bed. I'll put the twins to bed. I got time. I have time.
The Rockets, and here's the thing. A football coach told me this years and years ago. Once your team turns it off, it is damn near impossible to get them to turn it back on. And the Rockets psychologically look over and they're like, all right, like you've quit. Like you're not, like you're just playing like, Kevin Knox and Moses Moody or whatever. And then it started to get like pretty dicey there. To the point where Ime had to put his guys back in. What I'm saying is they were up so big, like they had already become resigned. Even Kerr was asked, like, did you think about going back to the starters after they'd gotten? He was like, that would have been irresponsible. Like,
how do you feel about game 6?
They had been sitting over there cold for a long time. Again, it's a lot like what I was talking about with the Nuggets. My trust level is so much higher with the Warriors being able to, come up big when they have to come up big. And it is very hard to understand what these vet teams, sometimes how they conduct themselves. And you can play a very dangerous game doing this, playing for a game 6. Because now if you get caught, now you're going to have to go win a 7th game there. But I would just say in their home arena, that is going to be an unbelievable task for Houston to be able to pull off an upset there. I
could see it.
I would be surprised if they won on their home court.
I could
Again,
see it.
I lived this and I watched and look, I'm only saying this, and maybe I'm saying this because of
you're uniquely positioned.
What happened a few years ago. Yeah, where it was like you felt great after game 5, and then you went and it'll probably be a rock fight, right? Because it's now your elimination time, so it'll probably be a rock fight. But we go back to that Tibbs quote, and he's at his best when his best is needed. That could apply to what you see sometimes with these veteran-laden teams. And you won't recognize the Warriors. You won't recognize them. What they look like in game 6 is going to be unrecognizable compared to what they look like in game 5. Where they were down 18 points in 8 minutes. Like they were just...
It's insane.
They had nothing. They didn't have to win it. And so they didn't bring that A game, right? They have to win now. They know they've got to close them out.
Oh, I'll be watching.
They know they have to close them out.
Popcorn. I'm gonna close the door. No kids in the room.
We have Thumbgate.
Thumbgate.
You've seen this?
Of course, I've seen everything, dude.
Dylan Brooks slapping the Warriors announcers say Dylan Brooks is slapping at Curry's thumb.
I didn't see it on the replays. I watched all the stuff. I watched all the replays. I saw everything. I was like, they're giving Dylan Brooks way too much credit. Way too much credit.
Well, I guess there are videos of it. Dylan Brooks was asked about it afterwards. Did you see that?
Yeah, he said if I had a hurt ankle, everybody would be coming after my ankle, whatever. Yeah, I saw it.
So he doesn't shy away from it. He is a villain. He is a villain. And we had a Pat Spencer headbutt. Look, I said this to my buddy today. What kind of odds could you have gotten that Pat Spencer gets ejected?
Kicked out of a game.
in that series? In Houston, Golden State, which we expected to have like maybe a melee at some point. Tari Eason and Draymond are rolling around on the ground. And then the guy that gets kicked out is Pat Spencer via headbutt.
The worst headbutt ever, too. I don't even think he connected.
I'll tell you this: if Houston was able to pull it off, those Houston Minnesota games, we might actually get people that pine for the 90s. you might get 77-74 in a game. I mean, that will be absolute assault that goes on between those two teams. If it was them, well, and on the other front,
Pacers, Cavs, you might have 77-74 at the half.
You're right. And then you have Jimmy in Minnesota, and you also have Draymond, who once famously, tried to put a sleeper hold on Rudy Gobert. So you get to. There's no bad options. Whatever comes out of Warriors Houston, there's no bad options for the T-Wolves matchup.
Yeah, and
who would you rather see Oklahoma City play?
Just for my own enjoyment, I would prefer to see them play the Rockets. Because
no, Oklahoma City.
Oh, that's with Clippers or Nuggets?
Yeah.
Clippers. I don't believe in this Nuggets team. I
honestly don't think there's a bad option in that one either. Because if it's the other option, if it's the Nuggets, and if they win in Game 7, they're going to announce the MVP, and that sets up the perfect SGA won it. Now Nikola Jokic is going for 40, 20, and 15, and all the shows the next day are like, did the MVP go to the wrong guy? Like you can see it. You can literally see it happening.
I love Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein for very different reasons, but I love both of them as basketball players, but they have nothing for Nikola Jokic. Like Zubac has the size and strength to stick with him and can score on him. But like, I just don't. I love Hartenstein and Holmgren. Like, I love them both as basketball players, but I can't see them slowing down Nikola Jokic from doing whatever he wants.
I don't think we have no bad options left. Like, we're going to get a Game 7 between the Nuggets and the Clippers, and either one of them is going to be a fun watch against Oklahoma City for different reasons. And the Timberwolves are either going to play the Rockets or the Warriors, and there's really not a bad option in that one either. I really don't think so.
I mean, it does feel like Ant needs to put down KD, LeBron, Luka, and Steph in 2 years. Like, just think about this, like
that'd be crazy.
The pelts on the wall that this man would have at 24 years old.
Yep.
To be like, 7-game series, took down KD. 7-game series.
I can't, and the other thing is, I want to see how good, if the Wolves were uniquely equipped to be an absolute bitch for the Lakers, and then we get to the next series, because we did this last year. People were already talking Anthony Edwards as Jordan, and then the Mavs did him in, and he struggled, and by the end of that, it was a way different thought process. Like, if the Lakers were a team that once one team just is going to simply game plan against you, they just were not going to be as good as we thought they were going to be. Or was it just that team was uniquely equipped to give them the huge problems that they did give them? Or are the Wolves that awesome, right? And then they mow down the next team too? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with them. And so, but they were mega impressive, and they won a game where they made 7 of 47 threes. That's
insane. I mean, it was the Rudy Gobert of it all, though. It was fluky.
I know, but if Jaden McDaniels goes back to being 12-point per game Jaden McDaniels, and if Naz Reid and Julius Randle turns back into the Julius Randle that we thought we knew, it's like, those are things that we could see happening. Like, I just don't know what to make of it all.
But they were
so good.
No one is saying Tyrese Halliburton, conference finals last year, on a run this year, took out Giannis. Like, no one's saying Tyrese Halliburton, future face of the league. Like, there's a difference between Edwards and Halliburton. Even though they both lost in the conference finals last season, no one is talking about Halliburton in that way.
They will be if we're looking at a Game 7 between the Cavs and the Pacers.
But even the Cavs, they're not the Celtics.
It's just not the star power.
It's not. And I do want, before we go, we have to talk about the Giannis thing for a second.
Let me hear it.
Oh God, I'm about to say something into a microphone that I'm going to regret. Is that okay? I'm going to regret saying this. I think that Giannis is at fault for his behavior immediately following the end of that game. And I think that his post-game press conference, he was so measured and intelligent and relatable and humble. But I feel like him grabbing Ben Mathurin the way he did and him going after John Halliburton the way he did.
Mathurin said something to him that
Of course. But just walk off the court. Like I'm more on the side of like
that.
Giannis.
I loved him grabbing his head.
No, see,
he
I don't like
palmed
it.
that man's head.
See, I disagree. I think that Giannis
you're in
acted
charge?
out of pocket. I think that he was emotional after losing a game that they should have won. They should have easily won that game. And he was emotional, and he was just taking on all comers and acting out of pocket. And then in the post-game press conference, after he showered and calmed down, he's like, "Oh,
you're right.
Blah blah blah."
No. You started this. You prefaced all of this by saying, "I will regret saying this," and so that you knew it was stupid before you even said it.
I'm critical of the way Giannis.
I don't even need to entertain this.
I thought he was emotional. He behaved emotionally.
Oh, give me a break.
He let his emotions get the better of him.
He had an AAU dad telling him, "Yeah, we do this shit," and waving a friggin' towel in his face after he just lost a heartbreaking game and his season's over and whatever.
I'm not saying John Halliburton's in the right. I'm not saying John Halliburton's in the right. I'm saying that Giannis, the person that he was right after
Giannis is a great human,
and the person that he was in the press conference are two different people.
No, he is a great human. No,
I'm not saying he's not.
If anything, he showed restraint. If anything, he showed restraint.
I thought
nobody would have blamed him for slapping the shit out of him.
The Mathurin thing was weird. Like he seemed to start the Mathurin conversation like he was like being like a big brother trying to like big him up, and then it turned, and he's got his hand around his head, and he's like, it turned a little evil. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
go to the locker room, dude. Go to the locker room. You lost. Am I wrong here? Tell me I'm wrong.
Yes, he was trying to go to the locker room. He was standing there. He wasn't bothering anybody.
Giannis?
He wasn't bothering anybody. He didn't bother anybody.
He sought out those conversations. He sought out those conversations.
Okay, the fact that anybody was talking crazy to Giannis Antetokounmpo is bananas to me. Why?
I love Giannis.
Why? I mean, why are they talking reckless to him? And you know what? I love that he grabbed Benedict Mathurin by his friggin' head and said, "You little bitch. You know what I could do to you? I'll squash your head right now. I'll palm your damn head. I'll palm your head. Do you understand what I could do to you right now? I could bounce your damn head off this ground." And then John Halliburton, shut the F up. Who are you? And why are you dressed like that? Are you a fan? Like, you didn't even know it was somebody's dad.
A towel with his son's face on it saying, "This is what we do." You don't do shit.
I'll tell you this. What's crazy is somebody asked me about that. They're like, "What do you make of it?" And I was like, look, as someone who has a son who, like, I've been in gyms for the better part of a decade now. You and you and I are the same age. It's our generation, bro. These parents, it happened on an NBA level, which is crazy to see. Bro, I would invite anybody, go into an AAU gym one weekend. You will see. I have watched people fight. I have watched people follow refs out to the car. I have watched I have seen two dads, fans. My son was 11, Jacoby. We were playing in a Tuesday night summer league AAU game. Okay? There's no record of this ever even happening, right? Like, nobody cares. Two dads got up out of the bleachers and said, "Well, then let's just effing go," and marched to walk outside. Then a bunch of parents have to follow them out behind them. And I'm like, they're going to go outside and fist fight each other over this basketball game. And so the idea that parents get overzealous is like you just saw it at an NBA level, but like I've seen people acting ridiculous about youth sports for the last 10 years, to the point where I am unsurprised by anything a parent does anymore, even if it is an NBA player's parent. Seriously.
So you think that
get
I'm
it.
wrong to be critical of Giannis's actions
Yes.
immediately
Yes.
following the game?
He's on the road. He didn't go seek anybody out to cause a problem.
Yes, he did.
He didn't seek anybody out.
He started that
he
conversation with Ben Mathurin. He started that conversation. That could have been a handshake.
Yeah, he's telling him good series, and the guy calls him a bitch ass.
Oh, I didn't see that.
What do you want?
I don't think Ben Mathurin called him a bitch ass.
That's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. And Giannis said, I'll bounce your head off this damn. Like, no, man. Don't.
And then this guy waves a towel in his face and says, "This is what we do."
Ridiculous.
So now you have to go nose to nose with them. I don't know.
Yes.
I just felt like the person that Giannis behaved as immediately following the game and the person that he presented in his press conference.
Oh, you mean a guy that
two different people?
A guy that demands respect. That is the same person. A guy.
I thought they were two different people. I could be wrong.
A guy
on this.
that thinks.
I'm telling you, that was my read of the situation. Yeah, I could be wrong.
It's a guy that feels like you should be respectful, win or lose.
Oh wait,
that's what he said.
I'm sorry. Wait, is this the same? Is this the same guy that tried to handshake Jaylen Brown and then took it away and made a joke out of it? Is this the same guy that did the shimmy right in front of Malik Beasley? Is this the same guy? Oh, so he's respectful. He's humble. He's humble and respectful. But when you're shimmying,
you're bringing up goofy stuff. Come on, you know that
I am
goofy.
I'm saying he's goofy. I just think that the person. There's the super ego.
You know what being disrespectful is. You're smart enough to know that. You know that.
I'm just saying, here's my point. He wants to be someone that he's not. He's trying to be this super self-aware, humble, perfect super ego human, but he's just not, and he hasn't accepted that.
I don't think he ever has presented himself as perfect. I think he is introspective, and I think he gives the best answers possible. The best.
He's gone. You know, he's Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Last pod, you wouldn't admit it, but he's gone.
Oh,
he's gone.
What do you mean I wouldn't admit it?
You wouldn't admit it last pod. He's gone. He is gone.
I mean, it's obviously up to him.
One thing I don't understand is why the Nets? Why are the Nets even in the conversation?
I'll say that.
What is he going to do on the Nets? What is he going to do on the Nets?
So Nico kept us from seeing what the true value of Luka Doncic will be. This will be the biggest trade return, and it will be so far beyond anything we have ever seen. So far beyond anything we have ever seen.
Ooh, I like this.
This is a good take.
It's a good take.
I cannot fathom the trade return that he is going to get. It's going to be.
We've all seen potential packages.
So if they decide, bro, if they decide that it's going to be like, yeah. But I'm saying like they're having this. They had this
collectively, of course,
together, and they said, and again, we didn't. This is what everybody always said about the Luka thing. But if we get hey, we are willing to facilitate Giannis to move, and here's what we're looking for, whatever. I mean, you get a 29 teams submit offers, and then you're going to have a couple of them that are fighting. I mean, it's going to get ludicrous. The amount of picks and great players, young players, or veteran players, like you're going to be able to rebuild your whole team if you do it. You don't even have to do the whole picks, and you can do picks and young players. You could go get like current awesome players. Like there's nothing that's off the table.
One thing I love about this is like I could see a team literally winning the championship and then 2 days later putting together a package to trade their best players for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes.
The Celtics, the Thunder, if one of those teams win the championship, like they're going to be in the bidding.
Absolutely.
They could raise a banner. They could win the championship. They could have a parade, and the GM during the parade could be texting your guy John Horst.
You have one of the three. You have one of the three best players in the world in his prime,
with not a great jump shooter, but like two-way player, no holes in his game. Like fits in anywhere. Fits in anywhere.
I mean, if you're gonna just like not have, if you're not gonna do the Nico Harrison to talk to one team, but rather talk to all manner of teams, I mean, this is gonna get ludicrous.
I just can't.
Truly.
I can't imagine in the history of a team that won the championship that immediately is in like a bidding war to bring in someone new. I'm trying to think of it. I can't think of it.
It can happen. It could happen. I mean, it's just that we also like guys like this. You don't have a chance to get them ever. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome. That will be a make for a fun offseason. But look, these playoffs have been unbelievable so far. This has been great. This has been great. And now we got a game 6 that's coming up with Golden State and Houston. We got a game 7 that's coming up with Denver and the Clippers. And then we've got on the other side.
Before our next show, we could have game 1.
No, it's Sunday.
A ton of series. Yeah.
No. But game 1 of Pacers Cleveland is Sunday.
Oh, we could also get game 1 of Warriors if the Warriors win.
What have they already announced the schedule for the Knicks and the Celtics? I bet they have. And seeing when that one's going to start.
Probably be Sunday, right?
Sunday is Pacers, Cavs, and Warriors, Rockets, game 7 if needed.
If needed.
And then Celtics and Knicks. That will be the next podcast we record together.
That'll be Monday night?
Monday night is game 1. Yep.
Oh, yep. God.
Monday night is game 1.
You know what? I'm going to text Bill. I'm going to text him something really fucking mean and insulting.
That's a good
right
idea.
Before tip-off. That's what I'm going to do.
You signed long-term, right? So, yeah, it's fine.
I'm going to hurt his feelings. I'm going to hurt his feelings. I'm going to hurt his feelings. I'm going to say something really fucking mean about his game.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do that right before tip-off. Throw him off.
Okay. All right. Jacoby, I will talk to you next week.
Must be 21 and over and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and over and present in D.C. Got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.